Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm back here with my dear friend Tim Wild again this morning, and we're talking all things nervous systems.
The good old nervous system, David, eh?
The good old nervous system. This has
Yeah.
been a bit of a bane for light workers, I think, for this whole ascension process, really. But in fact, a lot of people deal with it their entire lives. Um, but it's one of those things that unless you've kind of gone down like a heavy medical route or maybe worked with a really good healer, it's probably a word that you know, but you might not necessarily really know kind of what it is or why you may be feeling the effects of it. It's probably fair to say.
It's becoming a facet now of our ascension process where I believe that everybody is starting to realize what their nervous system is,
Mm.
how it responds. I'd say particularly we've noticed the effects of our process in the last 3 years. We've had huge changes in our circumstances. We've had a vast increase in the quantity of light that we're embodying. The revelations of the kind of the shadow aspects of the existence of our polarity in 3D
Mm.
and 5D, everything coming up at once has made the nervous system a forefront factor in our process. So we are all aware now that our nervous system is almost dictating our day. So rather than us, if you see,
Yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
particularly 2023 has been the year of the stress nervous system.
Has. And we actually did a workshop on this about 6 months ago.
We
In
did.
truth, I was thinking the other day this was about 2 years ago. I looked back at the dates of it and it was about March this year or something.
I know.
I couldn't
I
believe
know.
it. It feels like a couple of years ago. I couldn't believe it. But that's kind of the importance of this, that it's one of the major things that we're working through and one of the upgrades that our system is going through all of the time as we are just taking on an unbelievable amount of light and energy on a daily basis. And this is essentially the problem that you and I face. Tim and I have talked about this a lot in the past because it's been a big challenge for both of us in this lifetime massively.
Mm.
And I know it is for lots of people as well. That the energy that we're taking on, it almost overloads us, because this physical body that we're in now, it was, unless you're watching this and you're 5 years old or maybe 9 years old or whatever, you were born into a 3D environment.
Yeah.
The physical body is the evolution of at least the last 10,000 years of operating at 3D, and it was set up to receive information at that level. Since the cosmic moment in 2012, that level of energy we've been receiving has been rapidly increasing, basically on a day-to-day process. I would love one day for us to look back through. I know, Tim, sometimes you share old Schumann resonance posts and stuff like that on your Facebook page. It would be fascinating to look back a few years and see what the levels were then in comparison to where they are now, because I would imagine they've spiked a lot.
It's we live in a different planet.
Yeah.
Energetically now we're in a totally different world, and it's like you're saying, like the passage of time this year. A workshop that we did 6 months ago feels energetically like it's 2 years ago,
Yeah.
because we've put so much into such a short space of time. Now, our dear old nervous system, like bless it, is is aware of what comes in via the cosmos well before you and
Mm.
I on a structural daily level can perceive it. By the time we have registered on our scientific machines around the world that photonic radiation's coming in from the sun, Helios speaking, all of the other seven suns delivering their high frequency light packages to our bodies and our fields. By the time that's been registered on the machines, it's too late. The nervous system's already registered this long ago as it's leaving the sun, because the nervous system and the brain are intricately connected to the whole of the cosmos and everything that's going on around and out there. And our job at the moment is to basically convince or train the nervous system that's still associated or maybe attached to the old ways of thinking that it's safe. It's safe to receive this. It's safe to be doing what we're doing, because every time a huge volume of light comes in, for example, we go into high alert, which then triggers a fight or flight scenario within our bodies and our fields. The chakras, everything gets kicked into a different frequency in a very, very short space of time. So we're asking our bodies, our nervous systems, our chakras, our mental, our spiritual fields to keep up with this incredible pace that's being set without adjusting how we live our lives and how kind we are to ourselves in the process of doing so. So we're running, it's like trying to keep up with a well-trained marathon runner. You know, like you go, if you lose sight of the marathon runner, you've lost the race, kind of thing. So you got to keep the pace up. That's how I feel we are traveling or traversing our ascension process at the moment, and it is hard work.
It is. Well said, Tim. Well said. And of course, the other side of that coin that's happening at the exact same time is we are bringing in all this light, all this energy. It's literally lighting up the shadows within us, and it's also bringing out all of those past traumas, all those old stuck energies. You know, things from this type, from last lifetimes. I've lost count of the amount of days that I've had over the last few years where I've started having flashbacks to dying in the most horrific ways. It's just like, have I ever just, you know, gone in my sleep like peacefully? Has this ever happened to me? At this point, I just don't know. To you. No.
No, I think the most peaceful way you've ever gone is being hung, drawn, and quartered, wasn't it, or something?
Something like that, yeah. And you know, and that's the other effect of this light, is it brings all this stuff up, and all of these things have created trauma within me physically and emotionally. You know, and that's imprinted on my nervous system. You know, within my energetic fields. We're also talking ancestral stuff. I had a really interesting conversation with my chiropractor the other day, who's very, very in tune. And he said to me that even scientists now are apparently recognizing that stress can be carried at least as far as 3 generations back. Yeah. So we are, you know, carrying stress from our great grandparents, right? And the ascension process is clearing this. That includes World War One and World War Two. That whole period, even whether they were a soldier or not, that was a stressful environment for the entire world. You know, we are clearing our ancestral karma, we're clearing our past lives, we're clearing this life's trauma, and we're doing it whilst being bombarded by these unbelievable energies. And that is a lot of strain to be putting on the physical nervous system, and I will say the energetic nervous system as well, because you do have an energetic field that surrounds your nervous system that has imprints on it as well that need clearing. That's why, you know, one of my favourite things, if mine is kicking off, is to lilac fire of source my nervous system. Yeah, because it's such a nice, calming, peaceful energy. But I always do my energetic nervous system as well, just for that very reason. Just to help calm things down.
There's so many different things that we can do on a daily basis to adjust how our nervous system responds. I mean, you know, on the day when we run our workshop together, David, on the 12th, we'll be looking at ways that you can naturally and kind of organically deal with what we are receiving and take action, positive action that works immediately, as well as receiving the assistance that's being offered from the higher realms to help us through this particular period of time. If you're sat there listening to us wondering, you know, when is this ever going to stop? At the moment, you'll never live on this planet in a more hectic period. Everything is happening at once. It's a transitional period. Once we're on the other side of this transitional period and we've done the job that we are currently focused upon, things begin to level out. Okay, so this isn't something that lasts forever, but while we are here, we need to find logical and practical ways to embody this and adjust to it, because it is moving so quickly. And we knew this was coming, David, as well, didn't we? Because we had this conversation at the end of last year when we were running the winter solstice video together. We knew that 2023 was going to be very different and possibly very challenging, but we weren't aware of how that was going to occur until we were in that fast moving stream of energy. And now here we are 10 months later, kind of still improvising ways of dealing with it. So
that's it. And that's why, Tim alluded just briefly a minute ago, we are running another workshop called Upgrading the Ascension Nervous System on the 12th of October. And as I say, we only ran another one, which was called Calming the Ascension Nervous System, in March. So it may seem like it hasn't been long since we've done this, but that really is down to the pace that the energy is moving in, and how quickly we are adapting, and the opportunities that we have to adapt to this energy to help us on a day-to-day life. And a lot of this stuff comes back to the number one lesson for all light workers that seems to be so hard to learn, our hand in the air, myself included, which is self-care. I've said this before, most light workers are predisposed to a martyr complex, so we will put everyone else before us. And we are, and I'll talk about this a bit more in a minute, we're being given an amazing opportunity here by teams of our higher light to help us out with this. But there are things that we can do on a daily basis, acts of self-care, of self-love, to recognize that. And I'm gonna drop Tim in it right now, actually, and just tell him that I'm really proud of him, because we were supposed to film this video yesterday, and he messaged me, and he'd done an awful lot of energy work, and it was a bit much for him, and he needed a day to rest and to integrate. And I'm very proud of you for that, Tim, because I know a few years ago you probably would have just pushed through that.
Beamed on anyway, yeah. It's amazing. It's a little bit like the electric lettuce test, isn't it? It's like
electric lettuce test.
Have you ever heard of this? About it's just one of these nasty old experiments that they used to do in the 1960s, where they kind of run a current through food, and very quickly the person or the animal taking the food will only do it the once, kind of thing.
Right, I'm with you.
So we can only repeat the same kind of behaviour so many times before you realise that you have to. It's not just it goes beyond being an act of self-care. We have to take care of ourselves now. We have to make that time. We have to step back. It's a nice thought when we're talking about it, self-love, self-care, making those provisions, but actually implementing that into our lives can be very difficult. Like you've mentioned, the martyr complex, our time, the things that we've dedicated our days to and everything. Sometimes saying no is one of the hardest things that you can possibly do. And I know one thing I've always loved about how you function, David, is you've got amazing self-care boundaries. And if you need to take that time, you will do so. And so I've learned from watching you, my friend.
You say that. I'll certainly say the washing up is my Achilles heel. That's the classic thing. You're exhausted and you're tired, but the washing up always has to be done. That one always wins me over. I still have a lot of growth in that area, but thank you. Yeah, it's difficult, and especially when you've got dependents as well, other people that you're caring for and stuff like that, because you kind of naturally have to put them first. And sometimes self-care just involves finding time in the day that you didn't think existed, and stuff like that. It is really, really hard to do, but it's an ongoing journey.
It's essential. It's essential.
Yeah, it's a universal truth that you cannot pour from an empty cup.
No, you can't.
And you can't, as much as you maybe want, your mission is here to help others, and all of the stuff that you want to do for your path, you can't do it if you're exhausted.
No, you can't.
And the energies, as we've talked about here, are that when it's intense, you've got to take a step back and give it time to integrate. That's as simple as that. That's what you've got to do.
I thoroughly agree. And so on the 12th of October, David and I are really looking forward to presenting this and working again with the concept of bringing in a a band of assistance for the nervous system, which is being offered to us at this time to assist with the upgrades that we are currently experiencing. I mean, it was only the final week of September that we received, and this was unannounced as well, one of the largest light packages that I've seen being delivered into the bodies and fields of all of us. Now, what kind of caught me unawares about this is that usually there's a bit of a fanfare when this comes in. You can associate it with a period of time, like, say, the Lion's Gate, or one of the equinoxes, or a 7/7, or a 9/9 or something. This was just a random week at the end of September, bang, light package, and it's coming in from Helios, and the Seven Suns, and it was a huge upgrade for all of us. But what caught me by surprise was no heads up. It's just like, right, you're going to integrate this now, bang, it's here.
Yeah.
And all of the solar flares are off the charts. You know, we're seeing northern lights down in Cornwall, and it's just like, this is really stepping up now. It really is. It's coming in, and it means business. So we have to take provisions for ourselves.
That's it. Although the energy is always high, something of that scale historically has been kind of reserved for a portal day of some kind, you know, a 9/9, a 10/10 or something like that. Not just a random day week ending in Y. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to read a message quickly that I received from Lord Maitreya a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that's what inspired this workshop that we're doing as well. So this is what he said. Time is not linear, my child, as much as it may seem that way from your current perspective. And right now, the waves of the past, as well as the promise of a new future, are all crashing together within the confines of the current energies. And this we see is an overwhelming experience on the physically incarnated. At this now moment, you are being bombarded with information from more sources than you can comprehend. First, let us say, you are performing tremendously under such pressure. But we see that you are capable of so much more, if not for the bottleneck within your physical nervous system. And this is why I come to you today, for I, and some of my brothers and sisters, have petitioned on your behalf to the great councils, and I am overjoyed to share that we are here to offer a karmic dispensation to all the Lightworkers of Earth. One that will instigate a massive release of your past selves and open you to a vacuum of light. This will pave the way for the installation of a new infrastructure that will make for easier and deeper integration of the energies that lie ahead. This opportunity I present to you, should you accept it, will allow for a great expansion both within and without that will ultimately lead to a higher vibrational you. Yours in ever-loving service, Lord Maitreya.
Thank you.
So really, that's what's inspired the workshop that Tim and I are running on the 12th of October to facilitate this karmic dispensation that he's talking about. And, you know, as I was saying earlier, we are a cooking pot, basically, of a million different things that have happened to us in this life, in our past lives, ancestrally, just the things that are happening on right now that come together to create us with what we are and held within us. You know, if we could look at ourselves from the higher perspective, we would probably be shocked at the things that we could see. You know, we generally work on, like, you know, the 15 chakra system and the 4-body system, and, you know, we reference the Antikrana bridge and stuff like that. The truth, if you could see what they could see, is way more complicated than that. Like, on an unbelievable scale, what we are energetically. And the amount of stuff, you know, how many of us have been in a situation where we've thought that we've done loads and loads of shadow work and done loads of clearing and we're feeling good, and then bam, out of the blue we have a day where another past life memory comes up or something, you know, like that, and with it you get floods of anger or sadness or whatever, these things come out, and you're like, where on earth did that come from? Like, how have I been holding that all this time and had no idea about it? And this is just the way we are, you know. We've been holding stuff for thousands and thousands of years. some of us, our first incarnation on Earth would probably have been potentially millions of years ago, let alone what we've done on other planets and stuff like that. The history of this planet goes back well beyond what our textbooks say. We've got so much within us, and that's kind of what the amazing thing about what Lord Maitreya is offering is a karmic dispensation to say, okay, you don't need any of this anymore. It's not serving your purpose. We're not going to make you work off the karma. We're not going to make you, necessarily go through the initiations or anything like that. And we've been given permission. They talk about the councils. They're talking about the Board of Karma and the Intergalactic Council, to basically allow us to just let go of a lot of this stuff. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be everything, because, as I say, there's a lot there. But anything that we are able to just let go of is going to be a massive increase. And then, of course, as soon as we release something, we open up an opportunity for more positive stuff to come in. And again, he said he spoke about the vacuum of light, basically more light being drawn into you, more blessings, more upgrades, all of that positive stuff. And he said, the installation of a new infrastructure will make for easier and deeper integration for the energies that lie ahead. So our actual physical and energetic nervous systems are actually being upgraded as well to allow us to receive this energy, moving forward at a much higher frequency without feeling such a physical kind of integration with it. So it's really positive. Tim and I are really excited. We're really looking forward to this. It's a subject that's both very close to us, because it's been a big challenge for both of us on our paths. And we're looking forward to this upgrade as much as anyone. So, yeah.
Excellent.
If you feel like joining us, we'll pop all the details down below, and we would absolutely love to see you there.
I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
Me too. I mean, it's always a joy to get to present with you anyway, bud. So
yeah, likewise.
We always have a lovely time. And yeah,
we do. Yeah, it'll be a good evening. So come along and join us on the 12th of October, 7 p.m. UK time.
That's it. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. It's so lovely to get to talk to you all again. And thank you, Tim, for your words and your wisdom as always.
Pleasure, David, and thank you for yours. And we shall see you all again soon.
Send you all lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye.